Another win, man. Still sitting at 3-0 to defeated the Houston Texans Sunday, 28-21, and it was a unique game, man. I thought it was a tale of two halves. I thought the Steelers did a really good job in terms of making adjustments, both offensively and defensively. And I thought the Texans proved to be like we thought. We said that they had good players, good personnel, but we felt that they just couldn't match up as a whole with the Steelers. Like I said, I feel bad for the Texans. They've had the gauntlet these first 3 games for them, man. But I thought that this was going to be a good test, not a test that was going to be too hard where we're not prepared for it here in Pittsburgh, but I thought it was going to push us a little bit, and they definitely did. I still, like I said, I was really impressed with how both units, and actually all 3 units, responded to the adversity and just finishing the game the way they did.
Nah, dude, I think it's the same thing with the Broncos one. It wasn't, we were crazy overpowering or anything. I just thought an overall great team win where there was a little bit of adversity in the first half. The secondary wasn't as hot as we were expecting. Maybe they would fix some of those communication issues, whatever we were talking about last podcast. But dude, yeah, then just to completely shut them out in the second half. I thought the offense was dialing it in too in the second half, closing out the game. Ben, Connor, everyone. It was, I don't know. There's just something. I can't explain it, dude. Like I want to get really high about it and say, oh man, we're amazing. But at the same time, it wasn't, we won 28-21. And it was,
now, wouldn't you be sad though? Because you thought it was going to be a double-digit victory, so it's probably like a letdown to you, right?
Dude, I'm good. There's a feel. This is what I wanted to say. Okay. There's a feel to the squad. There's a vibe right now. And I know we only won by 7 or whatever it is. A win's a win. But I like how we won. I like overcoming the adversity. I feel like that kind of stuff is sustainable and will stand the test of time whenever we are tested in the future, whenever playoffs come around.
Or tested more by a better opponent in the future.
Sure, whatever. I think it's just going to hold up. I just like how the vibes are right now with the squad and the direction that we're heading. I'm trying to think if there's any like really downsides that I'm going to really hammer. The only thing I'm thinking is maybe the secondary first half, but it answered my questions in the second half by completely shutting them out. So
I like it.
I really liked it. I mean, I'm sure we're going to break into, more details of the offense, defense, position, personnel, and all that type of stuff. But initial reaction, I'm really happy, dude. 3-0.
Nice. Heck yeah, man. After last year, man, 3-0 is like heaven right now. So got to keep this ball rolling. But a couple of things that stood out to me. Offensively, I thought at times they were explosive. I thought the second half, though, they did a really good job. Even though I think they only scored, 3 points in the second half. Now, granted, Claypool could have scored on that last little bit at the end, but I just
no. We had a touchdown and a field goal, and then we did the 2-point conversion, 10 because we were down.
Whoa, hold on, let me check because I'm looking on ESPN right now, and it has us not having those points.
We were down.
Yeah, we did. We scored 8. Yeah, I'm right. You're right.
It actually might have been more because weren't we down?
It was 8 in the fourth, 3 in the third.
We were down 21-17 going into half. Yeah. So that's what it is.
Yeah. So the thing that I thought though, as a whole though, man, I thought in the second half the Steelers controlled the clock more on offense. They extended their drives. Whereas in the first half, even though they had the 14 points, I think it was in the second quarter, the still offensively it wasn't as consistent as we would have liked. I thought the running game, though, as a whole was a lot better. I thought James Conner and everyone, they literally used every back. That was good. But the way they're doing it from what we saw this game, because literally we haven't seen this at all from them, it was the committee approach, but James is still the feature. Because literally, McFarland got a couple of touches. Benny Snell got a couple of touches.
Snell had more than McFarland.
Yeah, and then even Jalen Samuels got some touches. He had a rush, and I think he had a pass as well. So it was good. This is my thing, though. I was impressed with them changing their narrative because the first 2 games, that was not the approach. The first 2 games, it was super heavy. Well, they wanted to go super heavy James the first game. Obviously, he got hurt, but then they went super heavy Benny. Then the second game, they went super heavy James. So this was so drastically different, but I did like the fact that all the guys did contribute in some way, shape, or form. But if they are going to do that, I do like how they're still featuring James. As long as he's healthy and running like how he ran yesterday, I think that's a good recipe right there.
Yeah, I think with him, his whole thing's always been you give him the ball more, he's going to run better. It still didn't, I don't know, just his running. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's eye test that's doing me wrong here in this occasion. But
it's 2 games back to back over 100 yards.
I know, but what I mean is it's getting the job done. It's not it's not flashy, but you don't need that. You don't need that. So Yeah, back-to-back 100-yard games, even though last one, he had the 50 whatever yard run at the end of the game, but this one was way more legitimate.
Absolutely.
And the pass catching too. I think I forget how many catches he had, but he had
4 catches for 40 yards actually.
Yeah, he had a decent chunk of yards receiving too. With him, I was impressed. I mean, Benny Snell, I just don't know. It didn't look like he could get anything going. He didn't fumble, so that was kind of the main thing with him.
Well, with Benny, I was more impressed with this. Number one, we talked about this. We didn't even know if he was going to get the opportunities again. So the fact that they gave him opportunities was good. He protected the ball. The thing that I was impressed with Benny was this, though, man. He was going out there and still making tackles on special teams. A lot of times, the reason why I wanted to highlight that is this, man. When you're young and you have adversity, especially before you get established, man, it's easy to go into the doghouse. And this kind of goes, number one, for Benny, but also for the coaching staff coming back to him on offense.
Late in game.
Yeah, it was good to see them say that, hey, we're still going to put the ball in your hand during this time, because that also re-emphasized that trust in him and reinforced that. And I think that in the long run, that's going to pay dividends for him, both on offense and on special teams as well. But like I said, for Benny, man, it was just good to see him still playing with great effort, still hustling, still trying to make a play and impact the game in whatever way he can, while you're still quote unquote in the doghouse. So I thought that was good. And then the young boy McFarland, man, he showed some speed, man. He looked good out there. I was definitely impressed by that, man. I was glad to see him come in, have an impact, keep that thing rolling, man. Protect the ball, keep it rolling.
Bro, I mean, the general probably talk right now then is, I mean, you did your Steeler radio. Was this brought up?
What?
More snaps for McFarland here?
Nah.
Or what do you? It wasn't.
It wasn't, bro.
Is that just me thinking that?
Yeah. The thing that I heard was they needed to have Derek Watt out there more because the running game looked better. I promise you. I promise you that was the talk today. More Derek Watt. Is the injury? No. I'm telling you now. They said, is the injury to Derek Watt going to have a negative impact on the offense because the running game looks so good? But the thing was this, even with the power running, it wasn't just with Derek out there. They used Vance as well out the gun with the some of the pulls and counter rushes.
They had Ben and pistol sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I'm just letting you know that was the consensus. It wasn't this whole running back. All right, next running back, get McFarland. People are back on the James Conner is the guy. He's the bell cow. Even Coach Tomlin said he's the bell cow after this performance.
I think we can agree with that. But man, so he had 6 rushes with 1 catch. He had 6
rushes for 42 yards and 1 catch. James had 18 rushes, 109 yards, a touchdown, and he had 4 catches for 40 yards.
So 7 touches for McFarland yesterday, which it didn't feel like it was taking away anything from anyone else in the offense.
I mean, McFarland had 7 touches. Benny Snell had 7 carries as well.
Yeah, what did you say, Samuel? Samuel had 2 touches?
Samuel had 1 touch and...
Well, he had, I don't know what the hell we were doing, because we did this both with Samuel and McFarland on like a 3rd and 1.
Yeah, and ran them inside. Yeah.
Listen, if the McFarland one would have worked, obviously I'd be singing the praises of that. Like, oh man, this guy really has it here. But come on, man, Samuel on a 3rd and 1. Let's get Snell or Connor in there at least. Well,
the thing that I would say is this: I don't mind whichever running back they had back there, but the strength of the Texans' defense was their interior. They struggled on the perimeters. We said even when we watched them against Baltimore, they didn't have an edge of the defense, and that's why all those counters, all those powers, all those outside hitting runs that we saw James gash them with. That's where I would want the play to go if I'm going to use Samuel. So I'm going to use McFarland. I want to have them guys on the perimeter because that was where they struggled. They still haven't fixed it. I went back and watched the Chiefs game again, and I was like, even with Clyde, he's still, a lot of his runs, a lot of his success was on the perimeter. I don't know why their defense is set up the way it is, but they don't force the ball back. And what I mean by that is when you think about our defense, right? TJ and Bud, they hardly ever let anything outside of them. A lot of times Cam and Tuitt pull up plays as 3 techniques, right? Shooting through the B gaps. But when you have an edge of the defense like TJ or Bud, when it forces it back, it lets everyone get a chance to get in on the play. So you're not gashing nothing. You're not letting the safety have to take all the tackles or the corners have to hit. The Texans, they do the opposite, though. The Texans, they don't set the edge of a defense and make it go back to their linebackers or make it go back to their D-line. They let it get on the perimeter, and now you're hoping that a safety or a corner or somebody small is going to make that tackle in the alley. And time after time, these first 3 games, that guy has missed. And, a 2-yard run is a 10-yard run or a 12-yard run. So for me, that was my only concern or my only issue with those guys being in there on that. If they just hit it on the perimeter,
3rd and short,
just run into the perimeter. That's where you've had the success throughout the whole day, and that's where they struggled the most. Sometimes you try to outsmart yourself, though.
Dude, can I ask you about McFarland though?
What's
I don't see why he can't carve out a permanent role in this offense right now.
Well, I mean, this week we're talking about McFarland. The first week we're talking about
No.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm not saying the bell cow though, but like
Word.
7 carries, like that definitely helped the offense, and you
I
could
agree,
definitely
it did.
see the change of pace and stuff. So I don't see why we can't get him maybe between 7 to 10 touches a game.
Well, the way that if they can operate how they did yesterday, that works because, like I said, they clearly with them having Benny Snell get the ball 7 times after a bad performance, right, putting the ball on the ground again. That lets me know he's still a big part of that offense. You know, James is going to get the double-digit touches. So, yeah, you still got the 6, like I said, from McFarland, and then from there, you can make it happen as long as they're sustaining drives. For me, I still don't want to put too much of an emphasis on trying to split them dudes up if James is healthy, though. If James is healthy, I like him to be out there because we see what he is doing right now. This game, I thought, was his best game in a while, man, in terms of his running demeanor, in terms of just the confidence that he played with. We said in week 2, he didn't have that type of confidence. Even though he had over 100 rushing, he just didn't look like that.
He had the one run, man, I remember he got blasted in the shoulder. Do you remember this? And I was like, oh, shit. He got up. He was good. I think it was late in the game.
It was going to their sideline, right? I saw the one where he went to their sideline. He gets hit. Juju's like, are you good? And he's like, he fans him off. And then I don't remember if he stays in or not, but I definitely remember him like fanning off like I'm good.
No, man, like I said, he's not this flashy runner, but he ran good yesterday. Like you could definitely, there was a difference I think between this week and last week.
Yeah.
But especially as the game got later and later, in my opinion, that's kind of my thing. And yeah, I thought the running game was a big part of how good we did just as an offense.
Yeah, and I think the running game and how it was able to sustain drives in the second half, I thought that helped out a lot more the defense in the second half. I know in the first half, a couple of things were going on, man. First off, the zone coverages and the rush, they weren't working together in terms of
Steelers defense. Okay.
Yeah. So in the first half with the Steelers, we said, man, that those guys had to finish their rushes, right, in terms of getting Deshaun Watson down. When they didn't, he was able to extend plays, makes you have to cover a lot longer. But what he was also doing was, because the Steelers were playing a lot of zone, which we said you do against a guy who can scramble like how Deshaun is, it gave the receivers time to find soft spots in the zone.
Oh, yeah.
And then a lot of times in the first half in particular, guys weren't exact on their drops. So if you're supposed to drop 1 yard outside the hash, 12 yards deep, they were sitting at 9 yards deep and 2 yards inside the hash. So now you're finding a softer spot. Okay, if you're supposed to redirect this guy, this receiver, and then get your eyes back over here, they would do one part of it, not the other. And that was ultimately leading to a lot of those chunk plays in the first half. Now, obviously, the 3 plays that Randall Cobb had, those were just him winning his matchup. It was a simple one-on-one. He just had a better route and got open. Him and Mike Hilton were going at it all day. It was a beautiful matchup to watch. And then, obviously, the touchdown to Will Fuller was just him beating Steven Nelson on a jump ball.
Yeah.
But the majority of the first half was the zone coverages, guys not being exact on their drops, and the rush not finishing, not getting home, right? But then you saw in the second half, that was the difference. They sacked him, 3 times in the second half. They also were a lot better on first down. You're right,
they closed it out, yeah.
Yeah, they were a lot better on first down, so now you're getting in second and long, third and long. It was making the Texans be almost handicapped, and they just didn't get the ball enough in the second half, which, like I said, was the bigger testament to the offense sustaining drives. Keeping Deshaun Watson, I think in the fourth quarter, he might have saw the ball once or twice tops. That's tough. You can't cook like that, or you have to be perfect when you go out there. Similar to like when you're playing the Ravens, right? We talked about how they cut down your possessions. That's what the Steelers were able to do because of the offense sustaining the drives and how it works together like that. And then obviously Mike Hilton having the interception was huge because that killed the drive. I mean, the Texans were moving the ball.
Yeah, they were. It was 3rd and 15 though, too. Like
the only reason
my point is, like, if we just would have batted it down or something, it was incomplete. I think we were getting the ball anyway. We got better field position.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to knock it. It was great play.
My thing was this though. I mean, I like the fact that Mike Hilton finished the play. Terrible throw by Deshaun, though. It was kind of like what we talked about with the Ben play a week ago.
He just had enough, dude. Yeah, I think he just had enough.
The Ben throw to, was it Deontay Johnson last week where we said, man, if a better DB is in there, he probably picks it. It was behind him. This time, you see Deshaun late into the play. He's already done scrambled around, and now he's just looking instead of getting rid of the ball or even run out of bounds and then punt, live to fight another play. Yeah, he tries to force it in double coverage. Mike Hilton does his job, catches the ball.
Absolutely.
less about the field position, more so about the momentum, though, because at the time that was
their best drive in the second half.
Because they had carried over from the third quarter all the way into the fourth, and you're like, we got this momentum, we're feeling good, we got some players going together. Even if it ends in a punt, it still feels good.
Oh, 100%.
And then in a turnover, it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth, and you feel like none of that success counted. And then from there, obviously, the Steelers were able to do what they did from an offensive standpoint.
Yeah, bro. That was the one thing about this game. It just felt like this nice complementary football. Offense was
complimentary.
Yeah.
Weren't we down big in the first half? Weren't we down? Am I tripping? Or was we not down?
What do you mean?
What was the score?
I don't know. I'm talking, you know.
It was like 14-3 at a time. Am I tripping? Or am I missing something here?
Yeah, but you already took care of all that. You took care of all the issues there.
Because you was like, oh, it's just this complimentary game. We're just chilling. I'm like, bro, at 14-3, I don't know what you were looking at, but everything I looked at was, yo, what the heck is going on, man? This is bad. Like, oh my God. Like, yeah, the sky's falling.
And what was that first quarter? Because we got it together midway second quarter. We scored the Ebron touchdown. And then we get the 2-minute drill.
Between that, but then remember, Deshaun and them answered with their own 2-minute drill.
Right.
And then from there, we got the ball 20 seconds left and took a knee. People were pissed about them taking a knee because they felt that at the time, with Deshaun just scoring, you got 2 timeouts, at least take a shot. Because at the time, the Texans had the momentum.
Well, all right. So maybe I am just talking more second half, but
yeah, the second half, I agree. Second half, we were in control the whole time. But the first half, man, the Texans look good.
But maybe this goes back to what I was saying. The Texans were cooking a little bit. Deshaun Watson was getting his thing going. But Ben and the offense answered where we got our points up.
Yeah.
And even though Deshaun scored before halftime, it was still 21-17. The game was still there. We were getting the ball at halftime. And then second half, it was just both sides. It was like we're controlling this ball on offense, and then you're not getting anything on defense.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what I mean. I was gonna say
because that first half was not that vibe, bro.
It felt right, man. It just felt right. I was pissed off in the first half too, especially the first quarter. But no, you're right. Because initially I was like, man, this secondary, what the hell's going on? We're Swiss cheese and all this.
Yeah.
But Deshaun was getting a lot of time, and that's usually a big complaint with cornerbacks and secondary.
Yeah.
If you can't cover your guy for 7-8 seconds, it's tough.
With Rob G in the interview, he even talked about that a little bit in terms of the rush. It makes it so much easier typically on the coverage, but they just weren't.
We were there. We were there. You're right. It just wasn't finishing, and that's something.
Yeah. And we talked about that though. That's what we definitely said, because with Deshaun, similar to Lamar, similar to Mahomes, their ability, and even Ben, even though he does it in a different way because he's bigger, their ability to extend plays that lets you go to your third progression, or now this guy that wasn't open initially, now he has a chance to break off of his initial route and find a way to get open. As a defender, you hate it because you're like, now, at least if you're running a route, the first 3 seconds, I know the route tree where, okay, if this guy's running a dig, you're not running a dig with him because y'all not gonna have enough space. So you got to be running a vertical or out. I can kind of hedge my bet. After 3 seconds of that, though, now I'm like, shoot, you can run a stop, you can run a right, you can go left, you can go wherever. Like, I'm just chasing you right now. Like, it sucks because you're always going to be a step late. So that was definitely what was going on with Deshaun. And then, like I said, in the second half, because they weren't allowing them to keep scrambling like that, that changed all of that. And that's why I thought, man, they just played a lot better because the calls weren't any different. I thought maybe, okay, I said, well, maybe they blitzed more in the second half. Maybe that's what it was. And it was like, no, they literally kept it consistent.
Well, I was going to ask you that because the whole thing is, we must have made some second half adjustments. And always the complaint with Tomlin is Tomlin doesn't make adjustments.
He never makes adjustments.
But this game, everyone's saying, these adjustments were amazing going in the second half. And me watching the game, I'm not going to notice, adjustments were made or not. All right, we're playing better. But were there adjustments or not? Like, so you didn't see any specific adjustments?
From a schematic standpoint, there wasn't adjustments in that.
It was just playing better, getting on their P's and Q's.
Yeah, just doing the details. If we say drop 10 yards, 10 yards deep, a yard outside the hash, those guys were doing that. When we talked about the rush, staying on the upfield shoulder, making sure that Deshaun has to step up, and if he does, you got interior rushes there. They did that. They bottled him up. Literally, the only time he got out the pocket was when he threw the pick to Mike Hilton. That was the only time he really escaped anything. I think Ola Danny was coming off the right side. I want to say TJ slipped, and then he was able to escape through the front. But other than that, he was pretty much contained. He didn't have that much time to dance around and stuff like that. That was the biggest difference, man. Those two things, and then obviously you catch the pick by Mike Hilton. I think if Hilton doesn't catch the pick, or if they complete that or get a field goal range, I think that changes our perspective of it. But because of the interception, you completely wipe out their best drive of the whole half. So even with that, you still feel a lot better about it. So that was my biggest thing, man. But yeah, watching the tape, watched it a couple times now. They literally didn't do any type of mass overhauls. It was, like I said, number one, the offense sustained drives
you
way
have to
better.
laugh about that though, just because
how it goes,
no,
man.
but it's funny. I mean, you have to find that entertaining.
They blitzed 15% of the time in the first half. They blitzed 12% of the time in the second half. You not noticing that difference. You not feeling that difference. I'm just saying you're not. I'm sure if you run the numbers, you might be able to say, oh, they blitzed 7 times and now it was 5 or it was 9. It's not a big difference though in terms of what they were doing. The coverages, I thought maybe they were doing more man coverage, but no, they were still running their same. It was cover 2, cover 3, split safety, but they were making sure that you had eyes on Deshaun, which you have to do. This is what you do when you play mobile quarterbacks. But that was the biggest difference, man. Yeah, and like I said, the Texans, they just didn't have any opportunities, man. That second half, we felt like Steelers had the ball the whole time.
Dude,
man.
It was unreal.
Yeah, it was beautiful, though.
It was awesome.
That's a recipe for success, man. Coach Tom always talks about a great defense is one that stays on the sideline a lot, because that means you're either getting a turnover, you're 3 and out, or your offense is having these long drives and makes your life easy, man. So that was definitely good to see.
Dude, I loved it. Do you have any hot topics? I probably got a few.
Well, before we even transition to anything else, I was going to say also, man, shout out to the special teams unit, because you think about this, right? Deontay Johnson gets knocked out. Was it the end of the first quarter, second quarter time
Was it?
frame?
I can't remember. I was watching it. Was it on that end around? He got jacked up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So on that play, he went out with a concussion. But the thing that was impressive was this, man. Ray McLeod, as a returner, once again, flashing, man. Flashing. You love to see it, man. Like, that type of speed that he was playing with, I thought that was good, man. I thought that was a huge boost. And then obviously when Derek Watt went down with the hamstring, still seeing other guys around making plays, man. Claypool, another tackle on special teams. We talked about Benny Snell. Just seeing other guys pick up the load, because Derek Watt is the star on special teams now, right? He's the guy that commands the doubles and gets everybody else free. So to see other people step up and make plays, and especially key guys that are getting offensive snaps, make plays on special teams, I thought was good, man.
Don't forget Boz. Boz is money.
Boz money, man. See, for me, man, I don't even think of the bad Boz. I only think of money Boz. So
no, we're cursed. I'm telling you.
So that's why I never even talked. I'm like, Boz, you don't ever need a shout out, man. All right, because I expect you to be money. Like, yeah, because that's the only Boz I know. 50 plus Boz we carrying off the field Boz. So I'm like, I don't even care. Like, you better make it. That's what you do.
Dude, we're cursed. So I gotta shout out Boz. Dude, it was a rough year. It was a rough year, but
it was a one-off. It was a one-off, man.
I know. After this year, I think I could say one-off for sure.
I'm good, man. It was a one-off, bro.
I still want to shout him out, though. Those are good kicks, man. Those are on the money.
That's my guy, though. And we don't show kickers love. Ask D'Angelo Williams. We don't like kickers. It is what it is. All right.
Wait, what? D'Angelo? Am I missing something here? Do I know this?
You probably don't. I don't even know. But D'Angelo don't like kickers. And he makes sure he reminds Boz of that every time he sees him. And that's why none of us shout out Boz, because D'Angelo said we don't need to shout out Boz.
Has he lost too many games like that?
No, he just said you don't need to shout out kickers, man. Kickers suck. They're not real people. That's what he told me. So I live by that code.
Oh, you just said you don't, though.
No, he said that kickers aren't real people. And I said I live by that code.
You agree with that? What do you mean?
Yeah,
they're robots.
You bringing up the kicker. I'm not bringing up the kicker.
Are they just robots?
No, they just people. They just you do what you do. You don't really exist until you do something bad.
Wait, you just said they weren't people.
No, in the sense of you're here in the flesh, you're a person. But I don't care who you are. Like, that can be your mama, your brother, your cousin. Like, yeah, just put them in there. That's who they are. Like, it don't really matter. You're just a kicker.
Okay.
Yeah. You over here shouting them out. I don't shout out kickers. Because D'Angelo said you don't shout out kickers.
We might need balls down the stretch.
You start shouting out kickers and they start missing. That's all I'm saying, bro.
I've been shouting out kickers.
They've been missing.
At least, no. At least Boz since the start of the season. So I got to keep it going. 27-13 next week. Shout out Boz. Keep the beard. We're good. We're good.
You funny, man.
I'm not superstitious, though.
Of course not. No.
I told you, I'd shave the beard right now. I'd pick a different score next week.
I'm sure you would.
I just don't want to feel the wrath in case we lose.
In case? Oh, what? I mean, the way they play, you shouldn't be nervous at all. What
I know. Well, I told you.
Especially against the Titans.
I'm keeping the beard. 27-13. I'm expecting
you to say 50-13 against the Titans.
27-13, dude.
They gonna score 13 points on us?
27-13.
What? The Titans? We're not even there yet. We're not there yet. But wow, the Titans. I mean, that's the team that you said sucks. They're overrated. They're bums. Well, Tannehill's terrible.
It was the quarterback toilet bowl last week.
They're the most fluky 3-0 ever, right?
Dude, it was the quarterback toilet bowl for those two games. Vikings and Titans, man. My toilet bowl, at least. Because they're not that bad quarterbacks, but like they get too much hype in my opinion.
But you said Josh Allen worse than them anyway, so it don't matter.
Nah, he's moving up the ranks a little bit. I'll put him over those guys for sure right now. But we still got to see more from him. But
from Josh,
we do. We just do.
God, what am I missing?
We do.
Did you see what he did yesterday?
I saw what I needed to see.
No.
We need to see more.
Did you see did you see it or did you just highlight it? That's what I'm asking. Did you see it or did you highlight it?
I saw what.
Because you told me you was. I mean, I know you revised your statement. I think it was a week ago about not watching every game.
Oh but, I'm not doing that.
But did you? I
have the red zone on. I got my pulse on every game.
No. But did you see his performance? Yeah. 300 yards again.
I saw them come back.
4 tutties, game-winning drive, adversity.
I saw the Rams come back, dude.
Yeah.
And I saw a bad pass interference call. I know there was another bad pick call. You were right on that. You texted me about that. That was terrible.
Absolutely. Which started the whole comeback.
Yeah, but the comeback still happened. So it's...
Yeah, but then he had to come back as well.
Mm-hmm.
It was nuts. People complain about that pass interference. I'm like, bro, they had a 3rd and 22 that he completed to Cole Beasley in the middle of the field against cover, I think it was cover 3? It was like cover 3, man. It was like most people around him. Dagger. That was the kill shot.
I'm not going to knock him, dude. I'm not going to knock him.
Aaron Donald breathing down his neck. Holy cow.
I'm not doing that. I'm not putting any bad energy out there.
I'm just trying to figure out.
I need to see more. He's above Tannehill Cousins.
I need to see more. I'm trying to figure out what are we looking for? What else are you looking for? Because at first it was, we ain't gonna go there. But either way, I thought that he was very impressive of lately, man.
He's been doing good.
He's been doing really good.
And like
man.
I said, dude, I'm not knocking him. I'm just not. I need to see more though. That's
okay. Because I was against the Rams. That's a good team, right?
They might be fraudulent now.
What? What?
It's either that or I really don't know. Or they just were sleep first half.
Are the Bills good? Could it be that the Bills are good? Well, they're sitting at 3-0.
I said they're in the playoffs. Okay. I said they're in the playoffs. Patriots are 2-1, right? So yeah, I mean that's going to be interesting for the AFC East. Both those teams are making the playoffs.
Okay.
I think we know the playoff teams right now for the most part.
You do already.
Probably there's
3 games.
There's probably 2 seeds that are open. Dude, Steelers, Ravens, Chiefs, Bills, Pats. So yeah, 2 slots are open right now. 2 slots.
Okay.
Well, yeah, one of them's actually gonna have to be the AFC South winner. Which, what'd I say? I said Colts, right? They're 2-1.
Yeah.
Titans 3-0. Yeah, it's probably gonna be between one of those 2 teams.
Who's the last team then?
Huh?
Who's the last team?
What do you mean? Oh,
you said it'd be 2 slots left.
I guess you got Browns, Raiders in there.
Browns are 2-1 right now, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
They are. This like when the last time they've been over 500?
I don't know. I mean, Chargers aren't playing that. I don't know what their record. Are they 0-3 or 1-2? They beat the Bengals.
They're 1-2. Did they win this week? I don't know if they won this weekend.
No, they lost.
And Herbert got hurt for a little while.
Yeah. Yeah, he threw for over 300 again.
Yeah.
So like, well, that's the thing. They said if Tyrod was healthy, they were going to start him.
Yeah,
but it's like back to back 300.
You got to go Herbert. I feel like you got to go Herbert, man.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't like their defense is playing good, even without like Derwin James. Yeah. Like they played Mahomes crazy good. I was stunned with that.
But they do now have an injury, man. Melvin Ingram, and they put him on the I think the short term IR, the one that's like a couple of weeks or whatever.
All right, they ain't making it then. Yeah, it might be Raiders and Browns. It's like sad. It's not sad.
Raiders
I don't
are
know.
good though, man. Raiders are a good football team. They're just not flashy. They
got exposed yesterday.
They did not get exposed, bro.
They got exposed,
bro. They played the Patriots. The Patriots are a good team, are they not?
Yeah.
So how's that exposing them?
That's what I mean. They played a good team.
And they were still in contention, man. It was a good team.
They played the Saints.
Yeah, beat the Saints.
Saints aren't bad. They'll make the playoffs, I think, still.
Okay.
But wait, do you want to go back to Steelers? Do you have any like hot topics or? I got 1 or 2 things.
Go ahead. You're a hot topic guy. You know me. I'm not a hot topic guy, bro.
Well, the one is just what
in terms of generating them. I like to respond to them.
This isn't really a hot topic. Yeah. This is just more my opinion. Mm-hmm. What do you think of Ben's game? I thought Ben played good.
Yeah.
Played really good.
It was good. I ain't got no issues with it, man. It was good. All right,
dude. I really like the controlling the ball.
But see, for me, I thought this was his best game. Whereas you crowned week 1 as his best game, and then you crowned week 2 as his best game. So I don't really know which best game is what.
I told you, it's a
this was the
thing.
cleanest he's looked all season. In terms of his decision making, in terms of his accuracy, in terms
controlling
of
the clock, leading, like he orchestrating.
Yeah, but that's my thing. So you
surgical with the 2-minute drive.
You gave him an A+ the Giants game.
I told you
that's my issue. I'm like, how was that an A+? This is a good game. That wasn't.
The curve goes up a little bit, and just based off the setting, coming back after a year.
Okay,
gone,
Denver. You said Denver was an A+ as well, and we said
No, we
pointed the
didn't.
bad.
No, we didn't. We didn't do
You would
a
have said it
grade.
though. You would have said it the way you came with the energy.
I would have said A or A minus.
Yeah,
I would have said A or minus.
So that's
At least all 3 games
but
are
now you see
averaging to
why I
an
look like
A
this,
right
right?
now. What do you mean?
Now you see why I'm always like, yo, bro, like, how is that A plus in this? Like, because this was his best. I don't even think it was a debate. This was the best he's looked all year. Not even close.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's just on that nice pace right now.
So this is the A plus as well.
I just it's an A average all these 3 games. It's been great. It's been awesome. I just think he's playing great, dude.
I agree.
He's flying under the radar. The Steelers are
He's
flying
not
under the
flying under
radar.
the radar. They're not flying under the radar, but I
No
do think
way.
they're balling though. But they're not flying under the radar.
No one's talking about us, which I'm good with. At this point, I'm good with. You.
No one's talking about the Steelers.
No, you know what all the hot topics are right now. I'm not getting into it.
Jeez, I'm definitely missing it because
We're the quietest 3-0 team right now.
No,
And I'm good with it. I'm good with it. It's us against the world right now.
So we're the quietest 3-0 team. What are the 3-0 teams right now? You got the
Well,
Bills.
Bears, but everyone's talking about them because of the Fools thing.
Yes.
So we're the quietest. I'm telling you.
Who else is 3-0 right now?
I don't know. What Ravens and Chiefs are both 2-0. They're going to be talking about them a lot tonight.
right? What are the Titans right now?
3-0.
Yeah, they're 3-0. No one's talking about the Titans at all. I feel like we're talking about. I feel like we're talking about probably 3rd or 4th behind
Seahawks, Cowboys.
Seahawks, Cowboys,
Bills.
obviously,
Dude, honestly, Josh
Rams.
Allen and the Bills are
not
probably getting
Rams.
more publicity than us right now.
Nah, I feel like Josh Allen is, but it's more like you still trying to convince people. You saw we came up here and after 3 games like this, if that was Ben that performed those 3 games like that, man, you would be up here with a 7 drawn on your head like it's Ash Wednesday, man. You would be over here like going nuts. If they had FC Player of the Week, you would be going nuts.
We're all about wins right here.
I'm just throwing it out there. But that's what I'm saying. Like, Josh has gotten some recognition, but still not nowhere near in terms of Buffalo as a whole compared to what the Steelers are getting right now.
I just feel like we're quiet squad right now, and I'm liking it. And I'm liking it. You don't think
this is
that?
kind of like that pressure you talked about too?
Huh?
It's kind of like goes with that pressure you were talking
What do
about.
you mean?
Where you said, we got all this pressure on us, man. We got to perform, man, week 1.
No, I think here's the thing. In my opinion,
We got pressure and we underrated.
No.
I'm confused right now.
I don't think they're talking about us how I would like. So now I'm just reversing it and saying, all right,
Gotcha.
you're not talking about us. Don't talk about us again because we're going to stay quiet and we're going to stay under the radar and we're going to stack up these wins. That's how it's going to be.
Because see, for me, I'm like, they talk about the Steelers. They're just not dominating the headlines like when it was the Killer Bees where it was just everything. I mean, how they talk about like the Cowboys or where they talk about the Seahawks right now with these highlights all the time. That's how they talked about us with those guys. Whereas now they still talk about us. We're in the top tier of being talked about. We're just not the head of that top tier anymore. We're like mid to bottom of the top tier headlines right now.
I think if anyone's talking about our game, they're talking about Deshaun Watson and the Texans as opposed to us, really. About like, oh, Deshaun doesn't have help, whatever. Steelers,
Steelers are a good
they're
team.
playing good.
Everyone that sees says the Steelers are a good team. They're 3-0. They're going to be in the mix. Yeah. We talk unless they start doing like the crazy flashy like you're getting from Kansas City.
You're trying to take that chip off my shoulder right now.
Well, hey, I'm not opposed to people creating chips. I'm just saying outside looking in is not really.
Are we just
You're trying to give us underdog. I'm like, bro, that's not us. We're talked about.
Not underdog, flying under the radar.
It's not under the radar. I look at like a team like Tennessee or Buffalo. That's like under the radar. They're both 3-0 and Buffalo more so is talked about than Tennessee, but Tennessee, like we sat here and was like, yo, what's the record? What's Titans record again? Because no one's talking about them. Like, let's be real about it.
I don't know.
And we're not as flashy. I feel like we're not as flashy right now.
I feel like they deserve not to be talked about. I feel like we deserve to be talked about. But like I said, all right, now you're not talking about us. Don't talk about us. Just don't, because we're good with being quiet and we're good with being under the radar. I'm good with that now.
You're funny, man.
We're gonna stake that claim here on out. We're just gonna stack the dubs.
You're stacking. You're taking that claim. I'm over here
stacking the dubs.
We're getting the respect we need right now.
Stacking the
when
dubs
more you
under
can talk
the radar.
about more, man.
I don't know if I want to at this point. You're not talking about us now, so don't let us go 10-0 and still don't put us in the headlines.
This is the thing. They just redid the NFL power ranking and still ranked like 3 or 4 going into this game before the Texans. What are we talking about here? They were the 4th rated team on the NFL.com power ranking. It gets no bigger than that, bro.
Am I just looking at the things that really irk me?
That's got to be it.
I think it's just I'm hanging my hat on Coward.
Let's say, is it Coward? Is it Glazer? Who is it, man? I feel like any Fox Sports guy gets you, bro.
It might be that Coward ranking, but I just feel like
because NFL.com definitely had him at 4 going into this Texans game, and they won. And so I think they either stay 4 or even move up potentially even more.
Nah, dude, I had ESPN on last night though, Sports Center and everything.
Yeah.
And it just felt like they just glossed over our game. Every other game was all this other stuff.
This: what like legit highlights did you see that were that compares from a league standpoint? They would say, okay, this 3rd and 22 right here is nuts. Let's talk about this. This has so much drama. The game yesterday,
I get it. There's drama and all that stuff.
It wasn't like, I mean, the first half, you could say it was some drama, but the second half, it was no drama at all. It was, the Steelers controlled it, and it was just clear cut. Like, it looked like the big person mushing the little person swinging,
and I'm good with
but they
that.
just can't do it.
And that's what's flying under the radar right now. Good team winning. And you know what? I'm good with that. You guys can have all the drama. I'll take the quiet, good team winning.
Bro, why is it always got to be a narrative? Why can't it just be? It just is no narrative, bro. They aren't flying under the radar, but they not overhyped. They don't have the drama, dude, but they not click. It's just good.
I don't know. Maybe there was just so much stuff in the offseason. Like, people were ripping on us, man. People were ripping on us. People were ripping on my takes.
About Ben. People were talking about Ben and his elbow, man.
And he looks awesome. So people should pay
and
for that.
And they've been saying that.
People should pay for those bad takes.
Gee. People should pay for bad takes. Wow. If this ain't what?
I'd be profitable. I'd be profitable. I think people would owe me more than I owe.
You are funny, man. You are funny. I don't think it's any narrative with it though. I just think that Steelers are a good team. I think they're finding ways to win. Right now, they haven't been pretty. Regardless of the matchup, we can point to prime example Tampa, right? How our game played out versus Denver. It was gritty. It was kind of ugly, but we found a way to win. It's not going to get talked about as much. You see Tom Brady, and they
that game was over before it started.
Right. But you saw how much they lit it up against Denver. Same situation in terms of backup.
We would have done it too.
We say that, but we didn't. So that's the only. So when we talk about like the teams that are getting talked about more, it's because of the fashion in which they're winning. It just looks prettier. Us against the Texans compared to the Ravens against the Texans. How gritty our game was. We said the Texans versus Ravens was closer than it looked.
Yeah.
But it's still, they had the explosive plays. They had the double-digit win, whereas we didn't. For us, it took us taking full control of the second half to get it where we wanted to get it at. But in the first half, like, for a second, it was like, yo, it was about to happen here. You know what I mean? And don't make that face because, you already didn't say. You said, he was tripping a little bit, and then it got better.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like felt good that we were going to come back. I felt good about a comeback.
Right, but I'm just saying with those teams, they haven't had to worry about a comeback. They've been like comfortably in control from start to finish. I think that's the difference right now in terms of why some of those teams are talked about so much more. We just haven't put out one of them performances where you're up 2-3 scores, turn the TV off because we just absolutely dogging them. Like, we haven't seen that just yet.
I feel good about our 3-0.
I do really too, though.
I really do.
For me, man, especially early in the season like this, I'm more comfortable with the gritty wins because we know as the season progresses, it's only going to get tighter. It's only going to get tougher. But if you're winning big early, though, man, it gives you that false sense of confidence. We talked about how the Broncos game, right? We could point out, man, the secondary wasn't doing this well. That wasn't happening well on offense, this and that. But you win, it kind of makes you feel like, oh, it ain't that bad. Luckily here, we respond though, right? Here they responded, they cleaned up some of the things, and they continue to get better. With some teams, though, you win an ugly game, you feel like, oh man, it's not that bad. And then you face a good team and they expose you on it. So that was the thing. That's why for me, I'm like, I feel good right now. Even with it, like I said, ugly or not, they're finding ways this is sustainable. This is a good foundation in terms of getting the growing pains out now, getting the kinks out now. You rather do it in September than in November and December.
Yeah, I feel good about it. Any hot topics? I might have one in my mind.
What, still with the Steelers?
Yeah.
What you got, man?
You got something else?
No, we stay with Steelers right now. What you got?
I'm seeing things.
Oh, God. Why do you say it like that? I'm seeing things, man.
People... do I need to do this or no?
Do it, man. You want to do it, bro.
You just said do it.
Listen, the people want to. They want you to do it. They need you to do it. Give it to us, man. Don't hold back. Because all you can do is...
I don't know if I want to do this.
Why? Because if you hold it back, then you'll grow old, man, filled with regrets.
No, because...
Live your life to the fullest.
I'm thinking about the team here.
Speak on it.
I want to think about the team.
Speak on it. They need this.
I don't want any controversy.
It's no controversy. We'll talk about it.
I'm gonna put this as light as possible, and I'm not gonna be like I'm not mad about it or anything.
Ask that joint.
It's not an ask, but people are
say that joint. Say it. Say it.
Some people are saying Juju's the number one receiver right now.
Okay.
I just disagree. It's Deontay. It's Deontay.
Okay.
And this is not a knock against Juju because I think Juju has been great for us right now. But just in terms of for the offense, I think it's Deontay. And I think Claypool's got the upside. Maybe not this year, but maybe in the next 2 or 3 years to be the bona fide number one. But I think right now it's Deontay. I don't know. Is this something? Am I looking at the wrong things here? But I think people are saying that. They're saying Juju's receiver one.
I think this is a thing, kind of like we talked about with narratives, right? It can never just be. We always have to label it, right?
That's what I mean. I would like it to just be.
You're good.
Deontay's getting all the target.
But
Like I think you could see that he's.
Talk about why is it when it's with receivers, just let it be. But when it's with the Steelers as a whole, you either have to love us or hate us. We can't just be
Steelers, because I know we gotta be even keeled here.
But you just went on a rant about, man, since y'all not talking about us enough, we the underdogs that we find on the radar.
It's us. It's family. It's We're good.
Just let it be. Just be. So with the receivers, once again, between fans and between media, want to label, okay, who's the one? Who's this guy? Two things. Number one, the way their office is structured, they don't have a featured number one right now. That's what we're seeing.
Well,
they've used all those guys. No. Even before he was hurt,
you think
he was still getting touches? But let's be real, Juju was still featured. James Washington was still getting touches as well. But I think back to last year, this was actually Daryl Drake said it, and then it was followed up. I forgot the coach that took over once Daryl Drake passed, but he said that we don't necessarily need a number one receiver. We're not going to operate like that. And that's what we're seeing right now. Who are we watching? When I think of a number one, I think of how AB was, where it gets thick, you're forcing the ball there. That's the guy you're going to. We're not seeing that with Deontay. We're not even seeing that with Juju, who Ben has the most rapport with. He's spreading the ball around.
Ebron.
Even with Ebron, right? He had 7 targets, 5 catches. But even with that, it still was nowhere near what we were accustomed to seeing when you think of true number one receivers.
Oh, hell no. But what I'm saying is that connection's building.
Oh, it definitely
is. The Wi-Fi is growing a little bit.
Well, and I will say this too. You can see the emphasis on it throughout the whole game. I mean, the first 2 passes to him, even though I thought the first pass wasn't a good one, the out that I think it was Murray ends up getting a PBU on. I didn't like that pass at all. It was late. It was inside, similar to the.
I don't remember that.
Fair enough, but you know what it was? It was very similar to the interception Tre'Davious White had last year against us, where Duck is throwing the out to Deontay.
I'm being honest, I don't remember. I remember the Duck one. I don't remember the one yesterday.
It was like the first pass of the game, man. So it's cool.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I figured you won it.
No, it's blocked out. Yep, I really don't remember it.
But other than that, I was like, we're not seeing Ben force the ball or say, I got to get this guy involved. No. It looked like the only reason he was throwing to Ebron like that, I feel like because leading up to the game, he talked about featuring Ebron. Ebron talked about being featured this week, and it showed. That was the point of emphasis. But throughout, though, none of those guys, and it's a good problem because they're all very talented and they're all very equal. No one really stands out above another guy. Like I said, when AB was here, or you look at DeAndre Hopkins, or you look at Julio or Mike Thomas, like you're looking at me and saying, hey, it's not close. That is the clear-cut alpha 1A. Is no debate about it. In Pittsburgh, that's not the case right now. All of them are really good, but no one is just head and shoulders above the rest. And that's why I think the offense, from a passing standpoint, is successful, but without having to have a true number one. I don't think there is a true number one right now. I think all of those guys they're featured in the offense. And it's more so, it reminds me of kind of the Saints pre-Michael Thomas, right? Back with Lance Moore and all those guys. Nobody was the real alpha. Even with Colson, like they were all good, but it was more so, Breeze is going to spread that ball around whoever's open. That's what we're seeing right now with Ben, and that's why I think he's playing a lot better.
See, I like how you use that distinction of your wide receiver one, because you say wide receiver one, you just think
everybody thinks that's
first guy on the depth chart. Right. So that's I agree with you, because Deontay is not AB yet, but I do think he is the best receiver on the team right now. Okay. In terms of
run after.
See, I don't know. You're right. Each one plays a role. Yeah. But I think Deontay is the best right now. What the degrees are, I mean, I don't know.
Well, because the counter to that, and people will argue this, Juju has shown the better hands, whereas Deontay has shown some lapses from not even the fumbles, but just
But I think Deontay could do more in terms of playing the outside, the route running, all that type of stuff, and making guys like. I think there's more to Deontay's game from that area. Where I think Juju is finding that role, kind of in the slot, getting that pass out there.
Juju has proven to be the most consistent thus far through these first couple of games, and been the most reliable in terms of clutch you know, whether it's hustle, whether it's a catch, whether it's whatever, he's been that guy.
Well, this is why I didn't want to bring it up, because this doesn't have to be a thing. Like, who's the better guy, this and that. But
you wanted a thing when it's about us receiving national attention.
Huh? What do you mean?
You want us? It has to be a thing when it's the team.
Not anymore. I'm over it now. Sure? I told you, I flipped it. I want to be as quiet as possible now.
What you flipping it though is still a part of it. It's kind of like either you gonna hype me up or don't talk about me at all. It's no in the middle. It can't be. We talk about you some, just not a lot. But we're not gonna not talk about you. Like, you don't want just the middle ground with the team. You want to either dominate the headlines or don't say anything at all.
Don't talk about it.
But with the receivers, it's kind of like, all right, y'all can just be. We're not tripping. Y'all don't have to be this or that.
So I'm thinking of the team. I figured it'd be a hot topic, but I'm like thinking, man, do we really want to derail us here within the organization? I don't want to have any like inside thing going on here. Let's just let it be. You're right. Different rules. Yeah. I do just think Deontay's slightly better, but that's whatever, man. Yeah. Juju's playing good, and I think I like how Juju's playing.
All of them bring something different to the table, and all of them do one thing good that the other one doesn't do. If we go down the list, we could all point out, okay, well, this guy, he's way better at this than that guy. Okay, but that guy's way better at that than this guy, and vice versa, and so on and so on. Like I said, it's a great problem to have.
Claypool's gonna be the truth, though, man.
Yeah, man. Hold on to the ball. Other than that, I love it.
You're talking about the last.
Hold on to the ball.
He
Other
wanted
than that,
that
I love
touchdown, man.
That's cool. Hold on to the ball. I love it.
I understand, man.
It's a different energy in here if that ball goes out the back of the end zone, and now Deshaun Watson and the Texans come down here and do something foolish, and we over here with the sick face. That's all I'm saying. We up here like, yo, Claypool, what the heck? So yeah, I ain't even about to go down that. Yeah, just hold on to the ball.
That would have been a nice touchdown to close it out.
Just hold on to the ball. I'm gonna leave it at that. We've seen what fumbles and turnovers could do. We've seen it.
I know.
This is the first game in 25 games now that we finally broke this turnover streak. We turned the ball over for 25 straight games. Think about that. That's dating back to 2 seasons ago now. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because we were on the cusp. We was like, oh Lord, no, we done jinxed it. No.
Would that have been a turnover,
Absolutely.
a touchback?
That'd have been a touchback.
Okay,
yeah,
so that's what they call it.
Yeah, it would have been a touchback if it fumbles in the back. It fumbles out the end zone. So
I didn't know they categorized that as a turnover. I mean, you are turning the ball over.
Yeah, and it kills you too.
You're technically turning the ball over on a punt too, right?
No, you're not.
Technically.
No, technically you're not. Technically you're not. It's different. It's yeah.
I get it.
What?
That might be it for my hot topics.
Yeah.
Ben and wide receiver 1 debate. McFarland? I thought that was we already discussed that.
What else you got, man? I know you got.
I got nothing.
You got nothing else cooking?
I really don't.
Hey.
I really don't. Yeah, we talked about the secondary. Clean that up. Pass rush has been awesome. Bud Dupree, TJ Watt, best pass rushing doing in the league.
No. I know what it is now.
What?
Shout out to Chooks Okorafor.
Good one.
Oh my goodness. He was up there with JJ Watt the whole game.
He might be the truth too.
I thought they were gonna move JJ around a little bit more. Nah, they had him exclusively going against Chooks, and Chooks stood up like a big dog. I mean, regardless of if JJ was trying to do his long arm inside stab, he was minimizing that. When JJ tried to do a swipe, his outside hand swipe going around the edge, he moved extremely well. I thought Chooks played just phenomenal, man. Looked good in the run game as well. Physical. Yeah, that was very impressive, man. I was very, very happy to see that.
No, I think the line as a whole, I don't know. I didn't notice anything where like week 1 where I'm
see, that's good though. If you didn't,
that's what I mean.
That's positive.
There were times, but I think this was more Ben. Maybe I don't know who you want to attribute this to. I mean, Ben is the one making the plays, but dude, he was able to move around in the pocket a little bit. I know he had that roll out for the first down that they didn't call first down, but I saw multiple times where he was able to just escape the pocket a little bit, move around, and then find the open receiver, which I don't want to like rip the line on that. Maybe Ben was more comfortable getting out like that, and I don't know. I thought it was fine.
For me, I thought the majority of the day the O-line looked really good. It was a couple of drives where the Texans got after the O-line a little bit, but the majority of the time, man, I thought that the O-line kept being clean, and they never, even when they allowed the sacks that they allowed, it never felt like a back-breaking type. Like when you saw Bud and TJ hit Deshaun, it was kind of like, God, you know what I mean?
Vince Williams.
Yeah, or Vince Williams, or even
David Johnson.
You see in 2, he's just like, yo, like some of those felt like just drive killers, back breakers. TJ, the hit he had on this would have been in the 4th quarter. Was that the sack? I think that was the sack. No. It was either the sack or the reverse that that Cooks had that TJ was making the big play.
Oh yeah.
Like it was stuff like that we weren't like
Didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, with the Steelers though, we never felt like that on offense. We never had one of those type of, oh man, Ben just got crushed or this guy got killed. Like we never had to see that, and I think that was a huge testament to that Steelers offensive line, because we said, man, they were inconsistent those first 2 games. But this was their best performance as well. And it's good because we're seeing this team continue to grow. We're seeing this team continue to head in the right direction. They're going to continue to have adversity. It's not going to be pretty. But the good thing is, it's a lot better when you overcome that adversity and you get that W out of it, man.
I agree, dude. I told you, it's the vibes, man. There's a vibe to this squad right now. I'm telling you. There's waves, and the waves are going up. The stock is up. I'm really feeling it, man. I'm really feeling it. So
I like it.
That's what I'm gonna say. Let's keep the waves under the radar, though. Like I said, let's keep the waves. I don't need the media. I don't want the media getting a hold of this secret and blowing it up.
This, man. They're talking about this, bro. The resurgence of Big Ben. He's looked great, man.
When did you see this? I
was just watching NFL Network today. Brian Billick was talking about Big Ben today, man.
I didn't even turn on the news because I didn't think I was going to hear Steelers stuff, so I didn't even bother turning it on.
Yes, Brian Billick was up there talking about the Steelers, man, talking about Big Ben. He was talking. What was he? Oh my goodness, it was somebody in particular he was talking about. Jeez. I'm drawing a blank, but yeah, he was up there talking about him. So I was like, all right, I like it.